If you are a science or arts postgraduate student in India, there is one exam that can literally pay you to do your PhD. We are talking about CSIR and UGC NET GRF, an exam that gives you a monthly fellowship of 37,000 rupees, a house rent allowance on top of that, and a research grant, all while you complete your doctorate. In this video, I am going to break down everything: eligibility, categories, how much money you actually get, and why mathematics students have a unique advantage that most people don't know about. Stay till the end because I'll show you the exact stipend calculation for a student in Delhi, and the number might surprise you. Welcome to this complete guide on CSIR and UGC NET GRF. This video covers four main things. One, eligibility and the HRA and contingency, comparing both CSIR and UGC. And four, a special case study on mathematics which is funded by both bodies simultaneously. Let's get started. So, what is NET GRF? So, let's talk with the basic. What exactly is NET GRF? NET stands for National Eligibility Test, and GRF stands for Junior Research Fellowship. This is a national level exam conducted by two different bodies depending on your subject area. UGC, University Grant Commission. It conducts NET for arts, humanities, and social science subjects. Think history, polity, economics, commerce, education, English, Hindi, law, computer science, and over 80 more subjects. While CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, conducts NET for science subjects. And here is the thing: CSIR only covers five specific subjects. Those are life sciences and biotechnology, chemical sciences, mathematical sciences, physical sciences, and earth sciences. Now I have highlighted mathematical sciences there for a reason. Mathematics is a unique subject because it is funded by both UGC and CSIR, and you can actually verify this by looking at the official result PDF. We will come back to this later in the video because it has some important financial implications. So depending on your subject, you will be sitting for either UGC NET or CSIR NET, but the fellowship structure is largely similar. When and who can apply? So exam schedule. The NET GRF exam is typically held twice a year, in June and in December. However, and this is important, the dates can shift based on circumstances. Things like administrative delays, unforeseen events like COVID, Corona, or policy changes can push the schedule forward or backward. So always keep an eye on the official CSIR and NTA websites for the latest notification. Who can apply? The eligibility is quite open. You can apply if you already hold a PhD, sorry, postgraduate degree in the relevant subject, or and you are in your final year of your PG program and are waiting for your results, or and this may surprise a lot of people, even if you are in your first year or even your first semester, you can apply for your examination. Yes, you heard that right. A first semester master's student can sit for NET GRF. But here is the catch: the 2 year validity rule. Your NET or GRF result is only valid if your post graduation result arrives within 2 years of the NET GRF result date. So, if you clear GRF in first semester and your PG takes 2 more years to complete, that's perfectly fine as long as it wraps up within that 2 years window. This rule is actually designed to be inclusive. It allows students who are midway through their PG to benefit from this opportunity. Don't wait until the final year to start preparation. Three categories of NET GRF result. This is one of the most important things to understand about this exam, and a lot of people get confused here. When results are declared, candidates are placed in one of three categories: and what you get depends entirely on which category you fall in. Category first, PhD only. This is the lowest qualifying band. Sorry, this is the lowest qualifying band. If you fall in this category, you are eligible to take admission in a PhD. That's it. You do not get assistant professor eligibility. You do not get any monthly fellowship. You simply qualify for PhD admission. Second category, NET. If you score higher and fall in NET category, you get everything from category 1 plus something very valuable. You become eligible to apply for the position of assistant professor at colleges and universities across India. This is called lecturership eligibility and it can be a career defining qualification. However, even in the NET category, there is no monthly fellowship. You qualify to teach and you can get into a PhD program, but you don't receive financial support. Third category, JRF, Junior Research Fellowship. This is the top band, and this is where it gets financially interesting. JRF gives you everything: PhD admission eligibility, assistant professor eligibility, and on top of that, a monthly fellowship starting at 37,000 rupees, plus a house rent allowance, plus a contingency grant. Think of it this way: JRF is a superset, JRF includes NET, and NET includes PhD only. Each higher category carries all the benefits of the lower ones plus additional advantage. So if you are preparing for this exam, JRF is the target. JRF fellowship stipend details. So if we talk about the money, this is what most people want to know. Both CSIR and UGC pay the same basic fellowship for JRF, that is 37,000 rupees per month. What where they differ is the HRA, house rent allowance, and contingency grant. Let me break this down. HRA depends on the city where you are doing your research. Cities are classified into three tiers for CSIR fellows. Tier 1 cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, you get 24% HRA, while in UGC you get 30%. For tier 2 city you get 16% and 20% in both CSIR and UGC respectively. And in tier 3 city it is 8% and 10%. For uh, contingency, this is actually annual research grant, money for books, stationery, travel, and other academic expenses. CSIR gives 20,000 rupees per year, which is average out to about 1,667 rupees per month. UGC gives 3,000 rupees per quarter, which is four times a year, averaging about 1,000 rupees per month. So CSIR's contingency is slightly higher on an annual basis. To summarize, same base, different HRA percentage, slightly different contingency structure. You actually take home depends on which body funds you and which city you are working in. Now GRF to SRF upgrade. There is something important that many people don't know about when they first start their fellowship. GRF is not a permanent stipend. After 2 years, your fellowship or your research is evaluated, and if your research progress is satisfactory, you are upgraded to SRF, Senior Research Fellowship. Now, what changes with the SRF? Your base fellowship increased from 37,000 to 42,000 rupees per month. Your HRA is now calculated on higher base. So in a tier 1 city under UGC, that is 30% of 42,000, which is around 12,600 rupees per month. And your contingency grant also increases under UGC. It goes up to double, like 6,000 rupees per quarter, that is 2,000 rupees per month and on an average. And if we talk about metro city under UGC, an SRF follow can receive 42,000 base 1200 12,600 HRA plus 2,000 contingency, approximately 56,600 rupees per month. And all details are there in the slide. Now mathematics case study, because it is funded by both UGC and CSIR. Uh, Mathematics science is one of the 5 subjects offered under CSIR NET, but and here is what it makes it unique. It is also funded under UGC. That means that when the result come out, some mathematics candidates receive their fellowship through CSIR and others through UGC. You can actually verify this by looking at the official result PDF. It clearly states the funding body. Why does this matter? Because as we just saw, UGC offers higher HRA percentage than CSIR. So mathematics students funded by UGC in a tier 1 city gets a better package than one funded by CSIR. Let me walk you through a concrete example. Let's say a student gets GRF in mathematics and they are based in Delhi, which is tier 1 city, and they are funded by UGC. Here is what their monthly income look like. Base fellowship 37,000, HRA at 30% of 37,000, about 11,100 rupees contingency. UGC gives 3,000 per quarter, which averages to 1,000 rupees per month. So total GRF income is approximately 49,100 rupees per month, while for SRA it is about 56,600 rupees per month. So you can do a full PhD in mathematics with complete financial support, no tuition fee worries. Now, quick summary. UGC handles arts, humanities and social science. CSIR handles science, specifically 5 subjects. Both conduct their own version of NET JRF. Exam schedule is usually twice a year, June and December, but dates can shift, so always check official sources or website. 3 categories: PhD only for the lowest qualifying band, NET for PhD plus lecturership eligibility, and GRA for top scorers, PhD, lecturership, and a monthly fellowship. For the 2-year rules, every first year PG student can appear. Your PG results that need to arrive within 2 years of the NET GRF result date. 5. GRF fellowship. Base is 37,000 per month from both bodies. HRA varies. CSIR gives 86 or 24%, while UGC gives 10, 20 or 30%. Contingency also differs slightly between the two. 6. SRF upgrade. After 2 years of GRF, you can become an SRF. Base goes up to 42,000. HRA increases and contingency doubles under UGC. 7. Mathematics is special. It appears under both CSIR and UGC. Your funding body is mentioned in the result PDF and it can make a difference to your final take home. And 8. First year students, please note, you don't have to wait until your final year to attempt this exam. Start preparing early. The exam rewards preparation, not last minute effort. That's everything you need to know about CSIR and UGC NET JRF. If you have any question about eligibility, about which city tier you or your university falls in, about the difference between UGC and CSIR for your specific subject or anything else, drop them in the comment section below. I read every single comment. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your preparation, and I'll see you in the next video.